Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, and Lancaster Fairfield Community Action Recycling and Litter Prevention.
Welcome to Fairfield Today. My name is John Bosser. I am the host of the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities monthly segment here. Today, as you can see behind me, we're at Art and Clay on Main, the new Square 7 Coffee House. You may recall, if you've watched this show in the past, that there are some changes afoot here, which we've talked about for the last couple of years, and they finally come to fruition here this month in April and May. And John Picar, our superintendent, is our guest, as well as David Uhl, Director of Business Development. Guys, welcome to the program.
Good to be here, John.
John, let's start with you. It's been just about 3 years now since we first kind of moved into this art and clay space. Talk a little bit about how that whole process went, and kind of roll in what you had as a vision as to what this place may become at that point.
Okay, well, we had heard that there were rumors for a while that Becky Hajost, who's the former owner of Art and Clay, might close the business. And I actually happened to be down getting my car serviced and looking at the newspaper, and I saw the bottom of the paper that day that Art and Clay on Main was to close, and that's when I actually got on my cell phone, put a call into you and said, get a hold of Becky. I think we need to talk about maybe acquiring Art and Clay on Main, because we saw it as a place where we could provide employment opportunities for folks that we support, but we also saw it as a way to save a downtown business. The last thing that we would want to see is another business downtown closing. We need more businesses downtown. We need to have a vibrant community, and that's actually where the piece of our mission statement came in, to bring about a vibrant community, that we not only wanted to save a business, but we also wanted to have a presence downtown where people with developmental disabilities could work, earn a living, and also show people what they could do.
Okay. And at the same time, that's when you kind of had the idea, this can be much more than just an art gallery / art studio, ceramic studio. We obviously, after about, almost a year, no, it wasn't quite a year, it was about 5-6 months or maybe after we opened, we brought Blue Shoe Arts down here. Right. From the Opportunity Center space, and that really kind of gave it a really kind of a neat creative feel down here.
It was certainly a way to establish permanent studio space for the Blue Shoe artists, and to expose them to a broader public, to show what they could do.
Okay. And it also gave us the idea that we could do a lot more business-wise, and that's where David came into the fold. David, tell us a little bit about what the Director of Business Development does, first of all, and how you fit in here.
Well, the Director of Business Development, what we work on is our social purpose enterprises here at Fairfield DD. And so social purpose enterprises really have two specific functions. One, we want to try to generate some revenue that will get dropped back into the program, but just as important to that is a social return on investment. How we provide the opportunities for individuals with developmental disabilities to work down here, and to, again, as John said, really let people see what they can do, let folks see them in action. And so social purpose enterprises are a big part of what we do. This is an example of one. We'll talk maybe about a couple other ones here in a few minutes. And then also just to work with the business community, the chambers of commerce and our elected officials and businesses out there, to help them see the value of what we do, help them see that what our folks can do, and kind of work with our community employment services folks who really work to help find employment for our clients and help them interface with that business community and find success.
Okay, and you've obviously been involved here as well. You were instrumental in getting everything kind of installed here and keeping that project on track, and here we are coming up on a grand opening.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity for us and a great social purpose enterprise, and this was John's vision for the last couple of years. And so when I came on 6 or 7 months ago, it was kind of the thing that I was charged to make happen. Let's get the coffee shop up and running down here at Art and Clay, and it's been great. It really takes a number of folks. Everyone in our department has been a part of it, from IT to facilities to promotion and marketing, we've hired several folks from the community, so we play a role at Fairfield ED in workforce and economic development, as well as we bring folks in and create jobs here in the community, and not only jobs for our individuals, and we've got I think 5 or 6 of our folks working down here in Art and Clay and Square 7, but also jobs for folks in the community as well. Again, back to that mission of bringing about a vibrant community. And this is great. First full service coffee shop in downtown. There's not another full service coffee shop anywhere around here, and it's a great opportunity for us to grab a little bit of that market, while at the same time helping folks develop some skills that are marketable, so that if they wanted to transition from here to another job that was perhaps more permanent, then they'd be able to do that based on what they learned here and what they were able to do here.
Great. Well, we're going to learn more about what's offered here at Square 7. First, we're going to talk to an instructor from the Ohio University Lancaster named Cheyenne Swinehart, whose class, her communication studies class, put together a project to promote the Spread the Word to End the Word campaign. We're going to talk to her for a few minutes and meet some of her students and learn about a project they did here a couple weekends ago. When we come back, after that, we'll be over at the coffee shop learning a little bit more about what we're serving here. Well, now we're still here at Art and Clay, but we're talking with Cheyenne Swinehart, who's a communications instructor at Ohio University Lancaster. Cheyenne, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
And Pam Whiteley is the art director at Blue Shoe Arts. Pam, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
All right. Cheyenne, let's start with you. Tell me a little bit about how the idea to have a class project with your communications studies class, Communications 1010, I believe it is.
Yes.
How did the idea come about to do a class project?
Well, typically at the end of that class each semester, I have them do a group research project studying relationships. And some of the students have taken really well to it and some not so well. So what I wanted to do is try a project where they could have hands-on experience outside of the classroom with the community and put some of the course concepts actually into action.
Okay. And then then at that point, how did you choose the project we're about to talk about that benefits Blue Shoe Arts? How did you come up with that project?
So what we did as a class is we picked 10 different nonprofit organizations within the community, and Art and Clay with Blue Shoe Arts being one of them. The students cast their vote and Blue Shoe Arts won essentially. And it worked really well because it fit into the course concepts perfectly, and being able to have, an organization that has artists and
Awesome.
People that are part of it to benefit.
Okay. And you built everything off of the Spread the Word and the Word campaign, which is a national campaign that has its roots in the Special Olympics movement, and sold these really cool little bracelets, which we have available at Fairfield DD, and we'll have them here for a limited time at Blue Shoe Arts, or at Art and Clay, Square 7 / Blue Shoe Arts /
All of the
the
above.
coolest place to hang out in town.
That's right.
Great.
All of those things together. And then you also sold the T-shirts, which you have yours on today. And then you came up with a really neat idea for an interactive artwork. And tell us what that was called again, or do you have it? Be a part of art, step in the right direction.
Yes.
And Pam, tell us a little bit about how that event came about and what you guys did a couple weeks ago on a Saturday afternoon. A very nice, bright, sunny,
No, it's
really
perfect.
the nice first sunny afternoon we've had on a Saturday
Right.
for quite a while.
Yeah, actually, I've always wanted to have a bunch of people step in art and kind of dance to music on a canvas and just kind of see that progress and photograph it throughout the process too, to create these wall hangings that we could just construct and then hang up in different areas, different buildings. So that's kind of how the idea started. So yeah, and it was nice to have students and then artists and then any community member that was walking by that or had heard of the event come and
And a lot of
participate.
people did that.
Yeah.
It was a very busy Saturday morning, afternoon here in downtown Lancaster,
Right.
and a lot of people stopped as they were going by because they saw the activity. We had a tent in the parking lot next to the building here, and you say things that you can hang on the wall. You need a pretty big wall.
You do, and the nice thing is that there's so much you can do. You can collage them together, we can cut them up, we could layer them, and then even have our blue shoe artists do something on top of them once they're all constructed again, just to kind of add a finishing touch too.
Describe what the style of that art is at this point. I mean, it's like a free form
Performance art, it's kind of all, it's community art, abstract. I mean, some people were actually drawing like suns and flowers and things, and other people just liked the feeling of the paint on them, and they were using their hands. And it was interesting to see. I was waiting for somebody to take, their shoes and socks off and just walk through it, and that was kind of like, was waiting for it. And then one of your students did that, and I was like, yes, finally somebody did it. So
I thought it was kind of neat the way you used the pool sport guns. I thought that was kind of
yeah,
cool.
and that was Cheyenne's idea, which was cool.
Well, it was your idea, but I brought them.
I'll take it. Thank you.
It was my idea. How about that?
That works too.
Okay, the host gets to take credit for everything. It's really, really neat. We've talked a little bit about that, but when there was a goal that was established at the beginning of this project, and we thought, you'll raise some money for Blue Shoe, and Pam can do, whatever she wants. And she's talked about some different things. You could purchase supplies. You could. One of the neat things I heard you talk about earlier was maybe just take all the Blue Shoe artists on a field trip to the museum in Columbus and do a nice lunch and maybe even go to a couple places. Go to the Wexner Center. Go to the
right. And there's a couple of other accessible art studios that are similar to Blue Shoe in Columbus, and I think it would be interesting. They need to go and kind of see the artwork that's being produced in other places and meet some of the other artists. It's kind of nice as an artist to know that you're not alone. Sometimes you feel like you are, so it's kind of cool to be able to like, oh my gosh, we both love painting with our hands and not using brushes or something like that, and just kind of sharing ideas.
Okay.
It's cool.
What kind of feedback did you get from the students?
They absolutely loved it, and with all the positive feedback, Pam and I have spoken. I think it might be something that I try to do annually with that class each spring. We had a goal of raising $1,000 for Blue Shoe Arts, and the class breaking up into 4 different groups and working on different initiatives as well as awareness for people with developmental disabilities and Blue Shoe artists. It was just amazing how much interest the students took in it and their efforts, and especially having a short time period since we started the second half of the semester to work on the project. So they loved it, and I'm glad that they all took something from it personally.
Everybody get an A?
Pretty much.
I want to especially make sure that the 2 guys that helped me put the tent up got an A.
Right.
At least a B+.
And the one who took his shoes and socks off and danced in
He
the
should have
paint.
gotten there. He was really, really good, yeah.
Well, and the other neat thing about it, and we didn't really talk about this as we were first describing the process, but we had students from Cheyenne's class, we had their families and friends, we had Cheyenne there, we had people came in off the street, but we also had some of the Blue Shoe artists that came down specifically for that.
Right.
And they had a blast.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
And I think that was a really cool part of it for the students, having the artists come, because it's really neat to realize that everyone, regardless of who you are, you have an ability to do something, an ability to do it great, and they really, really enjoyed watching the artists work. And I think it was Heidi who was in the corner there creating her masterpiece on the canvas, and they just thought that was the coolest thing. Right. She did really well.
To see her
she had her
creative
own
process.
style.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Well, let's pass this off to, why don't you tell us a little bit about this just check and what the final number came to.
Well, the students had a goal of raising $1,000 through selling the wristbands and the t-shirts, and they raised $904.
Nice.
So this is for the artist.
Thank you.
Whether it be supplies or being able to take them on their field trip.
Very nice. I was telling them about it. They're very excited to see what they can do with it.
Well, and we still have these left over, so we have more than a handful of these. So.
And we got some supplies too, so I mean that was nice on top of this.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of leftover paint.
Yeah, and people donated supplies too.
And the canvases themselves were 9 foot by 12 foot.
They were
9
drop
by
cloths.
12.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Yep. All right. Well, Cheyenne, thank you so much, not just for being on the program, but for coming up with this great idea and injecting this much needed funds into this program.
Thank you.
And Pam, talk very briefly, we only have a couple minutes left in this segment, about how people can either volunteer for work with Blue Shoe or continue to make donations and things like that. What are some of the things that you need, first of all, donation-wise?
Donation-wise, I think we could always use two-dimensional supplies, whether it be drawing materials or paint or paper or canvas or even wood. We're making our own canvases and stretching our own canvases and building our own frames, so that's very helpful. But then we're going to start doing a lot more three-dimensional stuff, and that's going to be using like paper mache materials, and there's a lot of upcycling you can do with that. So that's
And metal lids. You're looking for
metal lids. Yeah, we're going to be starting a Project Owl, which is going to be some outdoor art that we're going to do with found objects. So it should be kind of cool.
Okay. And how about volunteering?
Volunteers,
Great opportunity in the summertime for
very
college
much
students.
so, and we're always looking for somebody who, has got an art background or interest in art and got a lot of energy and is an artist themselves. Because we do have a volunteer that comes in now, and she just comes in and does artwork herself, and it's kind of cool to see that interaction, kind of a co-op thing kind of going on. So people who just want to come down and do artwork with the artist is kind of cool too.
Okay. Well, ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When we come back, we'll be behind the counter learning how to make, I believe Mr. Picar is going to order a cappuccino. Well, welcome back, and we have now moved back behind the counter. This is Christy Clark. She was our barista. She's our barista here. So John is playing the part of our customer.
I love being the customer.
Of course.
Yeah.
What are you going to order today?
Christy, I need one of your wonderful cappuccinos.
Okay, I will hook you up.
So Christy's going to make a cappuccino. The first thing she does is grind the espresso beans fresh. They only last for about 10 minutes once they're ground, and so we do it fresh as every customer comes in. She then drops those grinds into the little knockbox jobber there.
Jobber, is that a
that is a technical,
term?
it is an industry term, that's right. Okay. She then applies some pressure to it, about 30 pounds of pressure to compress the grinds down. She then is now loosening up what was around the edges to press it down once again to ensure that when we pull the espresso here, that it's got a nice evenness to it, that there's not too much foam, but enough of that foam that we like on there. So she sets it on the machine, she drops a couple of the glasses underneath, and it's as easy as that. Pushes the button. While we wait for that, she's already got milk for the cappuccino in the steamer bowl, and so in the pitcher, so she'll begin now to steam the milk. So you can see that Christy really has down the appropriate amount of pressure because these are both evenly distributed across. They look almost exactly identical on both sides, and that is an indication that she really has perfectly applied pressure and that the whole thing was even when it was put up on the machine.
And it smells awesome.
It does smell awesome, yeah. So she steams the milk to about, 160 degrees? 160 degrees, and then she begins to put the thing together. So she drops the espresso into the cup, and then she holds back the foam on the milk and drops the steamed milk in, and then she'll put the foam on top as she finishes the drink, and then John will be enjoying a fresh made, unbelievably good cappuccino, right, John?
Exactly.
Now, is this decaf or is this going to be one?
You know, it is not decaf. We talked about decaf beans. We have decaf coffee for sure, but the espresso beans are full octane, and so when you come down here, just know that. But we do have decaf options for just the drip coffee if you'd be interested in that.
Just what we need. Get him all wound up.
You guys love it when I have a cappuccino because then it's like all the ideas start flying and I start bouncing around saying, John, do this, David, do this.
Pretty soon we'll be building a hotel or something.
And there you are.
Thank you, Christy.
That's $5.99 there, sir.
I realize I have to pay too, yes.
Actually, our stuff's pretty competitively priced. We did a lot of research around the area, so we priced it with the market. And so how much is that, Christy?
$2.55.
$2.55 for the cappuccino.
Not too bad.
Not too bad at all.
Well, Dave, tell me a little bit more about what some of the other things that we're going to have once we get into to full-blown business here.
Sure. Well, so down here, obviously we have the art and clay stuff, and one of the things we want to make sure folks know is that the coffee shop didn't eat art and clay. Art and clay remains a key part of the business down here, as does Blue Shoe Arts, and so folks can still come down and they can make and take, their painted ceramic stuff. They can also do the glass fusion that we've introduced over the last couple months down here. So all of that remains. This is really an addition to what we're doing. So in addition to the great coffee that we have, we also have some great teas, both hot and cold, and we have smoothies down here as well. In a couple of weeks, when we do our grand opening, Christy's showing you here the loyalty card that we have. So when you come down, you get the frequent flyer card that gets you, buy 6, get 1 free. So John's got 6 or 7 of those in his pocket already. But so in addition to the beverages that we have down here now, in just a couple weeks when we have our grand opening, we're going to start having some food as well. So light deli, some sandwiches, some soup, and then one of our other social purpose enterprises that we're working on getting started is Sweet Innovations at the mall, which is where the former Cindy Cinnamon Rolls used to be. And at the point we get that up and running toward the end of May, probably in June, we'll start wholesaling those sweets to ourselves down here so that folks can come down here and get cinnamon rolls that are fresh made every day, as well as some other sweet treats that we'll have out there as well. So we're working on synergy and how all of these things work together, and it's really very exciting, again, with the main purpose of really providing opportunities for folks with developmental disabilities to work and to be trained in some of this stuff. So we've had a couple interviews for some folks on this side, and we're getting ready to bring on two ladies over here who will be a part of the barista crew here, and when you come in, it's very possible you'll be served by one of those ladies.
Okay, great. And of course, Wi-Fi.
That's right, free Wi-Fi. And so you can come in and you can see up in the front, we've got a number of tables set up where you can sit your laptop, sit your iPad, whatever you want to do, grab a cup of coffee, grab lunch if you want to, and work as long as you want. Free Wi-Fi for anyone who's a customer who wants to come in.
Okay. What's been one of the most popular drinks so far?
We have a couple of real popular drinks. A lot of people really like this iced chai latte thing that we have, which is very, very good. A lot of folks, when they come in the morning, they're just getting this great Stoff's coffee. The drip coffee that we have what we call our house blend, our Square 7 house blend. We have a darker roast we call Sherman's March. And then right now we have also a seasonal blend from Nicaragua that we're doing as well. And then in addition to the decaf. And so a lot of drip coffee, a lot of smoothies in the afternoon, and some of the frozen or cold drinks. And it's really kind of been all over the place over the last couple of weeks as we've kind of been soft open here. And now we're open 7 in the morning. You can come in before work and get your fix and head off for the day.
The iced tea is awesome as well.
Yeah, it's great iced tea. We brew
Arnold Palmer this morning.
Yeah, that's right. We do it a special way where we actually cold brew the iced tea for 24 hours in the fridge. So it makes sure that the teas are not real bitter, as opposed to hot brewing it when it would get a little more bitter. And so it's very light and refreshing, and it's a great summer drink. So,
okay. Talk to me briefly about parking.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of folks want to say there's no place to park downtown, and we disagree with that. And one of the reasons that we disagree mainly is because the lot directly to our west, we rent out. And so that's a gravel lot between us and the former Midoff building, and folks can park there. They can just come down through the alley, and they can park in that lot, so they don't have to worry about the on-street parking or the 2-hour time limit. If they want to stay for a little bit longer and get some work done, they can just pull down the alley, park in the lot over here, plenty of space.
Tell me a little bit about the hours.
Hours right now, yeah, it's we're wide open now for business. So 7 in the morning until 7 in the evening, Monday through Thursday. Friday, we're going to start doing 7 to 9 here in the summer, where we're going to bring in some musical acts each Friday, or poetry readings, or things that will draw folks down here.
And as you said earlier, people can always do it, come and work on a piece of ceramics. Or...
Absolutely, anytime. So if they want to come 7 in the morning, now when the coffee shop's open, they can come do that then as well.
Sunday hours as well, right?
Yeah, Saturday I think we're going to be working at like a 10 to 4, 9 to 4 sort of thing, and then Sunday 10 to 2 I think.
Okay.
And those weekend hours will change as traffic changes, but as we get started, that's what we're looking for. Through the week though, 7 a.m., 7 p.m., come on down.
Great. Well, thank you, David.
Thanks, John.
And John, thank you. Christy, thank you. One last thing before we close. I want to let everyone know that registration is now open for Run for the Rose, which is Saturday, June 15th at 9 a.m. It's a 5K race that begins at Forest Rose School, runs down around where Fair Avenue is, where Thomas Ewing Junior High School, comes back out the bike trail to end at Forest Rose. Registration is available, as I said, at premierraces.com, and that's premierraces.com. So until next month, this is John Bosser with Fairfield Today.
Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, and Lancaster Fairfield Community Action Recycling and Litter Prevention.